Can we go live now?
Yeah.
Dharamirji, please.
In 5 seconds, ma'am.
Yes, Shruti. We are live now.
Ma'am, let's play that montage.
Champions are not made in rooms. Champions are made of something they have deep inside them. A dream, a vision, and a desire. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Champions are not made in rooms. Champions are made of something they have deep inside them. A dream, a vision, and a desire. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I, Shruti Sharma, on behalf of School of Journalism and Mass Communication, K.R. Manglam University, take the pleasure to welcome you all in this live webinar on sports broadcasting with a supremely talented guest speaker, Mr. Jatin Sapru. To talk more about this inspiring personality, he's a certified sports anchor. Mr. Jatin Sapru found his own known playing role in the world of sports in 2008. He's the winner of ESPN's reality hunt for a TV presenter, Dream Job Season 2, and is nearly a decade old in the industry. Now, he's the head and lead presenter of Star Sports Hindi coverage of international cricket. He has presented a long list of shows with some of the greatest names to have played the sport, like Sunil Gavaskar, Kapil Dev, Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid, Virendra Sehwag, VVS Lakshman, Nazir Hussain, Kevin Peterson, and Steve Waugh, to just name a few. His genial personality and generous cricketing acumen has allowed him inside access to an otherwise exclusive cricketers only club. He made his commentary debut at the ICC World T20 2014. Cricket aside, Mr. Jatin has multiple feathers in his cap, as he has presented the London 2012 Olympic Games, ESPN Sports Centre, the FA Cup, taken flag for being the Manchester United fan, and Nike football locker room, and rallied across the Himalayas and the great Indian Thar. He'll be talking about his journey so far, but before that, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Kiran Bala, Dean School of Journalism and Mass Communication, K.R. Manglam University, for a welcome note.
Thank you, Shruti. First of all, I would like to welcome Jatin Sapru. He has come on such a short notice and he has accepted the invitation. So great of you, Jatin. The reason of having this session with Jatin, like most of the faculty members and students, they think because he was my student, that's why he is here today. No, this is not the only reason. And this is not the only reason that he is a celebrity star anchor. The reason is that I want to tell all the students through Jatin that what kind of efforts, what kind of hard work and sweat goes in becoming that celebrity which you want to aspire to become. So That's why when we discussed, Jatin and me, that from where should we start the series with Jatin, some interactive session, we'll be having some more sessions with him. But the beginning should be an overview of his career, how he started, and then how he reached here with, and of course, efforts of her parents. I think credit goes to his parents also. They supported him like anything, because I have seen their journey also. So once again, welcoming you, Jatin, on behalf
Kiran
of
ma'am.
School of Journalism. Yes.
Thank you, Kiran ma'am. Anything for you. Once a student, always a student. And I owe everything that I've known, that I've been able to put in this field to string my career together. It is all credit to, like you said, my parents, my support, my family, and all you wonderful teachers that I had the luxury of learning from. So that I shall forever be indebted to that. लेकिन मैं तो बस सिंपल ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि आज जितने बच्चे आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे सबको अटेंडेंस मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी, क्योंकि एक टाइम पे बस because today I'm not come, like I've been very honest about this one fact. You know, everyone says, oh, you're a celebrity. I think celebrity is a very it's not a very expensive term anymore. You know, any and everyone can become a celebrity. You could be a celebrity for how you look. You could be a celebrity for what you've done, and not all of it, you know, always is very credible. I'm just glad that I can sit here today and talk to a lot of students, because I'm in a field where it's the content and not looks or anything else that makes you a known face. And that is something that I always wanted, you know, to be known for your content. And I'm just really glad that I've had this opportunity, and God has been very kind. So the first thing that I just like to tell all the students who are joining here today is, I would have loved to be there personally, so I could have seen all the bright faces, people who are going to take journalism forward. Everyone wants to be the story, right? Everyone wants to be the story. But we come into this field not to be the story, but to be storytellers. That is our job. There is a lot of temptation कि यार हम वहां पहुंच गए हैं कि अब हम स्टोरी हैं. That's the first thing I want to tell all the kids. वो मोह माया है. You leave that aside. We are never going to be the story. There are occasions like this where I might be the story today to a lot of young kids, and I'm so glad that I could be a part of their day today, of just to share my experiences. But be happy to be the storyteller. The world needs storytellers. That is a very important thing which is needed, and even more so in the times that we live in, we need honest storytellers. So I hope all of you will keep that in mind as you go forward in your careers, that you're here to become storytellers and not the story. From the outside, when someone will talk about where I am today, जैसे आपने भी कहा, there's one word that pops up every now and then is, he struggled. I'm now 13 years old in the industry, and the word struggle comes out. बहुत लोग हमेशा मैसेज भेजते हैं, sir, tell us about your struggles. और मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आता. I was like, कौन सा struggle? Right? Because what on the outside everyone says is your struggle, for me it was just a great experience at all times. So मेरे को कभी realize नहीं हुआ that whatever I was doing was a struggle. Was there any money? No. Was there any gratification? No. But there was satisfaction that I am getting to do what I probably really like. Right? So let me rewind now. Let me take people back. Did I always want to be here? Did I always want to do this? I was clueless. No. Did I set myself a goal that one day I want to be the lead presenter and commentator on Star Sports? Was that my dream? No. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like a lot of people. Sports was my first love. That's something that I can remember. I don't have a great memory. You know, बहुत सारे लोग हैं वो बोलते हैं अरे हमें वो याद है. No, I don't have a great memory. But I do know that sports was my first love. Did I put in the efforts which a lot of people who've made it big in sports? Did I give 200% to become the cricketer or the sports person I wanted to be? Maybe not. I probably gave in a very average effort that I loved it, but I probably wasn't possessed about it. And at the same time, this is where my family which had moved from Kashmir to Delhi, and they were struggling to make ends meet. I never had the luxury to bring it up with maybe my parents that I need to join a coaching school, I need to get training, I want to become a cricketer, because I couldn't afford it. Maybe that played a part, but I was a good student in school up until class 10. After class 10, it was science. I mean, I didn't have a choice. My dad had struggled a lot, and for him, it was very clear that उस time पे we're talking about late 90s, early 2000s, Y2K, millennium आया था. अभी तो सारे millennials बड़े young हैं. लेकिन उस time पे हमने we saw the transition into this new century. But उस time पे for a lot of us and our parents, it was very simple. The world was not as small and an experimental place as it is right now. It was a little different. You had to do a risk assessment कि कहाँ पे risk कम है. And risk सबसे कम हुआ करता था science में, or so our parents believed. So till class 10, I thought I was a good student. I was getting 80% odd. I was doing well in sports, but then I took science, and for 2 years, I'll be very honest, in class 11 and class 12, I felt I was clueless, I was worthless, and I was aimless. Because now suddenly my confidence had taken a big beating. I had no idea where life is taking me. I was not doing well in studies. I was barely managing to clear my exams, and I didn't know what had happened, right? Because that was not my forte. So वो 2 साल का struggle, the struggle was very real, right? That's what I tell people. Okay, that was a struggle because कुछ समझ नहीं आता था, and that was not my strong point. उसके बाद, the natural progression is you get into a college, right? And people start figuring out what they want to do in life in class 11, class 12. अपने को कोई idea नहीं था. But the only thing was said was, okay, you've taken science, you have to do engineering. I was not good enough to crack any big engineering college because engineering colleges don't worship mediocrity. And I'll be very honest, I was a very mediocre student. So I did not get any good college, but my dad still wanted me to do engineering. So I enrolled in a private engineering college after 6-7 months of struggling with entrance examinations. And I joined this private college, but at the back of my mind, I knew that anyone can join this college. Right? I have not done something special to be here. So just to tell myself, oh, look, I've joined this new fancy private college. It's got a great building, great infrastructure. Was that making me feel special about life? No. And I'll come to that later, how it's very important to be honest to yourself. You give the best answers to yourself. दुनिया कुछ भी बोले, अरे वाह, आपका इसमें admission हो गया, बहुत अच्छे, मुबारकबाद. Should you feel good about it? No, ask yourself. So I was going through the motions. My confidence was at its all-time low. I was struggling. And then I had to ask myself a question, is this how I want life to be? I didn't know where I wanted life to go, but it couldn't be that. वो बहुत clear हो गया था मेरे को 6-7 महीने में. So I had to tell my parents that I cannot do this. And my father wasn't very happy. And he's like, okay, you don't want to do this, then what are you going to do? And like I'm saying, I'm talking 2002, 2003. I spent about 2 months asking myself, yeah, what am I good at? I don't know what am I good at. And I'm just trying to be very open with a lot of kids today because it's not an easy question to answer. What are we good at? People will ask you, what do you want to do? Figure out what you're good at. It's not सुबह उठे और पता चल गया, this is what we're good at. It takes time. उस time मैंने सोचा क्या करें? Fashion designing करें because I like sketching. No, that wasn't the answer. चलो bachelor's in arts कर लेते हैं, 6-7 महीने हुए हैं और उतने marks नहीं आए थे कि कोई अच्छा DU में admission मिल जाए. उसके बाद सोचा कि चलो management course कर लेते हैं. आजकल सब BBA कर रहे हैं. BBA was a very in thing at that time. And फिर सोचा कि यार बड़े महंगे courses होते हैं, it's got to be feasible as well. I was literally like a deer in headlights, as they say, wondering that, I don't know what I'm good at. But there's one thing that had always appealed to me was news. And I have to be very honest to myself. Like, what am I good at? Yaar, main roz subah paper padhta hu. I know everything which is happening in the world, and I really enjoy writing. I really enjoy language, English and Hindi. And I really used to look up to Prannoy Roy on NDTV and his election coverage. Shayad, if I weigh all my options, maybe what I really like is this. which was a very risky field at that time. So when I told my dad for the first time कि dad मेरे को journalism करना है, so dad ने बोला journalism की एक image होती थी उस time पे सबके दिमाग में, कुर्ता डाल के झोला पकड़ के कोल्हापुरी चप्पल डाल के तुम आ जाओगे, लाइफ कहीं लेके नहीं जाएगी, अच्छा खासा इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे थे, ये पता नहीं क्या भूत सवार हो गया तुम. एंड आई एम लाइक चलो हो गया, मैं इतने सारे ऑप्शंस मैंने कैलकुलेट किए हैं, अब मेरे को लग रहा है कि यही शायद है जगह जहां पे आई कैन डू वेल. I still didn't know whether I'll do well or not. Like I'm saying, for 3 years, my confidence was at an all-time low and I was struggling mentally, emotionally. And now I talk a lot about mental health. If I go back, my mental health is a very strong factor at any age. And I think people who are in class 11, 12 and all of that, they need to talk about these things because it takes a toll on you. So for me, the experiment was, let me attempt an entrance exam and see. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाएगा. मेरे को लग रहा है मैं फन्ने खाऊं, मेरे को ये सब पता है. So an entrance exam will make it very clear. For 3 years, I had not done well in any examination, and that was one of the reasons I was struggling with my confidence and in life. Let's appear for this and see whether I'm good enough. And I still remember when I went for my entrance examination, I didn't do any extra preparation. Current affairs and everything was just something that I enjoyed. I didn't know whether I'm good at it or not, but I went, and when the question paper came, right, 3 साल के बाद एक question paper आया जिसको देख के I was like, I know this. I know these things. And suddenly you feel different. You're like, wow, you know, my hunch was right. Maybe this is what is going to be my calling. I gave my exam. I came out very happy. I got a very good rank. And still in my head, I was like, okay, is this my calling? Is this what I'll be good at? Well, now you've given your entrance exam. 1 साल हो गया, almost drop कर लिया हमने. So you've got to do this. So I remember I joined college. Kiran ma'am was one of my faculty members there. पहले 5-6 महीने हमने बहुत मटर गश्ती करी. You suddenly realize कि अरे कहाँ गए हम, man. But then I realized in those 6 months के बाद भी जब exam आया, I was enjoying what I was doing. Suddenly, the same classes that I used to run away from, I felt that I'm a step ahead because I could grasp what I'm being taught. I could see the field from a different lens. And in about 6 months, I realized that, yes, Jatin, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. But had I started dreaming big, I actually think a lot of these dream quotes are absolute cliches. So dream big. You know, dreams are what don't let you sleep at night. No, boss, you need a good night's sleep. Dreams are good. Dreaming big is good. It's a great concept. But dreaming big can put so much undue pressure on yourself. It can make you miscalculate where you stand in life. So don't just dream big. Have small goals and respect small goals. This is what I realized in those 6 months. कि मेरे को ये नहीं देखना मेरे को 3 साल बाद कहाँ जाना है. मेरे को ये देखना है कि I don't have any backing. मेरे को ये industry सीखनी है. I have to figure out where I want to get in life every 6 months, not 3 years later or 5 years later. Which in my head was a very good calculation. Okay, I'm here right now. I'm doing very well in exams. I was getting decent marks. I was doing well in my classes. But I knew it for a fact that the industry all of you are going to go out in, what you study, course, literature, everything is great, but that's your foundation. But this industry works on work experience. And I realized that at a very young age. So I remember, I think 7th or 8th month is when I started doing my internships. मुझे जो भी मिला मैंने किया. Nothing was small for me. When my first, I think Kiran ma'am would know it, एक बार जब news channels say, you know, people would come and give you internships and all, there were a couple of renowned news channels and there was this one channel no one had heard of. And I only managed an internship in the channel that no one had heard of because I had spoken to my seniors and they said, जितने बड़े नाम में जाओगे, जितने बड़े बैनर में जाओगे, उतना कम सीखोगे because वहाँ सबको सब कुछ आता है. तो किसी का सिखाने में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. तो अगर सीखना है तो वहाँ चले जाओ जहाँ किसी को कुछ नहीं आता. So I was like, ठीक है, पते की बात है and थोड़ा chill भी scene होगा. So I joined a news channel, I remember, and my producers were senior to me, but I figured कि यार ये भी यहाँ पे आ गए हैं क्योंकि ये channel खुला है, सब यहाँ काम करने आए हैं. But it was amazing because for 4 to 5 months that I worked with them, I was arranging audiences for their shows. I was buying the tapes, उस टाइम कैमरा में टेप्स चलती थी, अब तो कार्ड रीडर्स आ गए हैं। पहला हमारे से प्रैंक हुआ था, उन्होंने बोला था जाके 1 किलो कलर बार और 3 किलो ब्लैक ले आओ, and which I think is a very permanent prank in the media industry. And I was like, color bar or black, this doesn't sound right, ये कोई item नहीं हो सकती। 2 दिन उन्होंने भगाया। Then they would say, go with the camera guy, we're holding tripods, कैमरामैन से उनकी लाइफ की कहानियां सुन रहे हैं, कैमरा कैसे ऑपरेट करते हैं। उस टाइम पे maybe on the outside my friends would be like, yaar, are you getting paid for any of this? No, I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't living a life where my parents could give me big pocket monies or anything. I was just making ends meet. But did I for a moment feel, yaar, मैं कहाँ गया, ये मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? Never. Because I had not started dreaming big. I was like, yaar, this is what I enjoy doing, और मेरे को इसी इंडस्ट्री में रहना, और मैं इंडस्ट्री सीख रहा हूँ. And you don't realize that those experiences shape you up for greater things. Those are the experiences that make you a media person. पर अगर उस टाइम पे you'll be like, यार मैं तो कैमरा उठाने तो नहीं आया, मैं ट्राइपॉड उठाने नहीं आया हूँ, मैं थोड़ी एडिट पे बैठूंगा और मैं टेप्स का फुटेज डंप करूंगा, और मेरा ये काम नहीं, मैं तो एंकर बनने आया हूँ. So everyone like, sir, you always wanted to be an anchor? No, मैं एंकर का टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर चलाता था सुबह 7 बजे की शिफ्ट में, और ये वो एंकर्स होते थे जो अपनी स्क्रिप्ट भी नहीं पढ़ के आते थे. उनका जब टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर कभी कभी अटक जाता था, जो उस टाइम मैनुअल टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर चलाया करते थे हम पीछे बैठ के प्रोडक्शन कंट्रोल रूम में, अगर उनका टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर अटक जाता था तो वो ब्रेक में गालियां निकालते थे, टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर में कौन बैठा है, चलाना नहीं आता क्या? एंड हम बोलते थे सॉरी सर, सॉफ्टवेयर का इशू है, ऑल ऑफ दैट. उस टाइम पे एक और चीज मैंने सीखी कि यार अगर मैं कभी एंकर बना ना, मैं कभी किसी पे चीखूंगा नहीं. मतलब ह्यूमन यार, मतलब यू आर नो डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द पर्सन हु इज होल्डिंग द कैमरा इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. दिस इज टीम वर्क. इट्स लाइक सेइंग कि सचिन तेंदुलकर ने सेंचुरी मार दी और सामने टेल एंडर से रन नहीं बने, उससे विकेट नहीं मिले, बोले ओए तू क्या कर रहा है यहाँ पे? यू आर अ टीम. मीडिया इज एब्सोल्यूट टीम वर्क. बट डिड आई वांट टू बी एन एंकर देन? नो. उसके बाद आई वर्क फॉर अ मैगजीन व्हिच वाज लॉन्चिंग, व्हिच वाज हमारे एक गेस्ट फैकल्टी होती थी, रवि चावड़ा सर होते थे, उनकी मैगजीन थी, वहां चले गए, रेस्टोरेंट्स के रिव्यू करते थे. फिर हमने अपना एक न्यूज़पेपर निकाल लिया कॉलेज का, जिसको हम रोज दोपहर को 2 बजे बैठ के पब्लिश करते थे. 2 पेज का न्यूज़पेपर, और कॉलोनी में बांटते थे. और उसके साथ बना लिया हमने प्रेस कार्ड अपना. और वो प्रेस कार्ड इलीगल था टेक्निकली, लेकिन वो प्रेस कार्ड लेके मैंने बहुत इवेंट्स पे जाके फ्री का खाना खाया. अमेजिंग. सो हम देखते थे उस टाइम पे न्यूज़पेपर में आता था आज कहाँ का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है, क्या हो रहा है. सो वो देख करते थे, ये अच्छा लग रहा है, यहाँ पे खाना अच्छा मिलेगा, और यहाँ पे ये सेलिब्रिटी आ रहा है, चले जाते. वहां चले गए. फैशन वीक हो रहा है, किसी को फोटोग्राफर चाहिए, फोटोग्राफर बन गए. Nothing was too small. And today, this is what I tell kids, because I get a lot of messages, sir, how do I become an anchor? How do I become a presenter? No, don't get into journalism to be on TV or to have your name in a newspaper. There is so much more to this industry. There is this joy and pleasure. You know, these 4-5 years that I spent when I was never on screen, I had a blast. I enjoyed it. And if you want to be in this field for the long run, enjoy it, learn it. And you'll not learn it by becoming a celebrity. To get there, you need to know what is my production guy doing. उसका नाम क्या है, उसका काम क्या है. And जब आप वो काम करोगे, तो कभी आप अगर स्क्रीन पे पहुंच गए, आप उस काम को रिस्पेक्ट करोगे. आपका कैमरा जो हैंडल कर रहा है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि ये कितने पसीने में, इसका काम कितना मुश्किल है. And it will also help you. I always maintain, now that I've learned broadcast, you'll only be a good presenter or a good on-air face if you know how the back end operates. You have to be a good producer to be a good presenter. So all of you in this field, you have to realize and maximize your potential. कि हम क्या क्या कर सकते हैं इस फील्ड में, बहुत कुछ है करने को. So anyway, 2-3 years into college, don't know where life is going. No money is coming. मैंने अपने डैड को चैलेंज किया था, वो झोले वाली जो इमेज उनके दिमाग में थी, मैंने कहा था डैड चलो 5 साल दे दो मेरे को, 5 साल के अंदर कुछ तो कर लूंगा. नहीं किया तो फिर आप जो बोलोगे. इंजीनियरिंग पे तो वापस नहीं जाऊंगा, but whatever you say, I'll probably figure it out. 3rd year of college, I remember we had Kiran ma'am would know Subhajit sir, and he wasn't even my teacher. I remember he was teaching another batch, and मैं college चले जाता था, you know, गंजी वंजी डाल के basketball लेके and all of that. I was a junkie in college, and he once called me and he said कि यार तुम बड़ा sports करते हो, sports करते हो? He said. So like, हाँ sir, मैं sports करता हूँ. So he's like, एक opportunity आई है. There is some platform called mobile ESPN. I heard ESPN और मेरे कान में Sports Center की ringtone बज गई. I'm like, the ESPN? He's like, yeah, there's mobile ESPN. Suddenly the sports lover had come back. Like, oh, kya hai sir? He's like, it's a new platform being launched. They need content writers and young kids who are interested. Like, sir, do a number. So we went there and interview tha. Again, I asked the interview and they said कि 8 घंटे का काम है, but आप तो college जाते हो ना, आ जाएंगे सर. College के बाद हमारे पास life में time के अलावा है क्या? So you used to go to college at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, bunk some of Kiran ma'am's classes. She might not be very happy about it, but kar kar aake 3-4 घंटे college, and then we used to get there. My first salary was 6,000 rupees, 6,331 rupees. And those 6,331 rupees, I lived the life that even Mukesh Ambani does not. I was the boss because I was working for ESPN. And that money was just enough. Bike hoti thi mere paas to go from Basant Kunj, come to college, ride to Noida in the afternoon and come back home at 12:31, repeat the whole process. But I lived some of the best years of my life. We were writing content, we were doing वो अभी आपको पता नहीं होगा because बड़े savvy generation आप Disney Plus Hotstar पे shows देख लेते हो हमारे. उस टाइम पे होता था dial 5331 on Vodafone to get cricket updates. वो जो लोग 5331 डाउनलोड करते थे वो cricket updates हम बनाते थे. We used to script it, we used to write it, and फिर रात भर हम बैठ के commentary करते थे कि अगर किसी ने dial in किया तो क्या होगा. अकेले लगे रहते थे. And learned so much from someone who Kiran ma'am knows, Soumitra Bose sir. He was in charge of the content there, and we were just a bunch of happy kids living our dream. We were living our dream, earning 6,331 rupees. Because we had never dreamt it. हम तो आए नहीं थे यहाँ पे हर्षा भोगले और एलन विल्किंस और प्रणव रॉय बनने. हम तो enjoy करने आए थे. And हमने बहुत enjoy किया. Promotion मिला, 9,000 रुपए हो गए. क्या बात. पार्टी देंगे पूरे 9,000 रुपए. Right? Because we are doing what we enjoy doing. And I still maintain that you will only survive in this entire industry if you're in it for the right reason. Whether you go into print media, whether you become a journalist who writes, whether you become a journalist who's on television, whether you get into production, whether you become a camera operator, whether you become a director, if you're in it for money at the start, you'll get disillusioned very quickly. If you're in it for fame, if you're in it to become a celebrity, find something else. Do something else. This is not your field, because nothing in this field comes easy, like in any other field. But this field, इसमें एक सिर्फ पैसे का मोह माया नहीं है. इसमें बहुत लोग आते हैं. I speak to a lot of young people who come for auditions, and I always ask them, why are you here? And I can tell you, if I speak to you in 30 seconds, I will know if your intention is right or not. If you're in it to be famous, if you're in it just to have recognition, I will find you out in 30 seconds. This is what these 13 years have taught me, because I've come up the right. When I was at Mobile ESPN, there was a reality show, ESPN Dream Job, जिसके ads आते थे, and मैं ad देख के बोलता था, chance ही नहीं है यार, मतलब जो जीतेगा क्या scene होगा, you know, it'll be so good. And this colleague of mine was like, yeah, why don't you audition? You know, you've got the language, you've got the voice and all. But I didn't have that confidence. I'm like, are you mad? 6 रुपए का बैलेंस है फोन में, 3 रुपए इसके ऑडिशन में लग जाएंगे. Are you mad? एक हफ्ता निकालना है. But he said, no, audition. Last day पे audition, suddenly got a call, went for Delhi auditions. And one thing led to another, but I just never put pressure, right? आप जब expectations यहाँ रख के जाते हो तो dejection बहुत होता है. अगर इस चीज में आप खुश हो कि मैं इस एफर्ट के लिए जा रहा हूं, बट ये एफर्ट मैं पूरा दूंगा, वापस आए जो होगा देखा जाएगा. Are you happy with the effort you put in every day? And that's what I said at the start. I said, don't dream big. I'm not discouraging anyone from dreaming, but I'm saying just by dreaming big, you'll not get anywhere. Set yourself goals, and the smallest goal you can set yourself every day is whatever you set out to do, whether it's attending a class, whether it's going for a lecture, whether you're attending this boring seminar that I'm doing. Have you given it your all? You've given it your all, forget the result. And उसका जवाब आपको अपने अंदर से एकदम सही मिलता है. हमें यहाँ पे बहुत लोग होते हैं सर बड़ा अच्छा शो था ये, जिस दिन खराब शो होता है ना उस दिन अपने आप को पता होता है उस दिन नींद नहीं आती. लोगों ने चाहे एंजॉय किया हो बट यू नो कि यार पता है क्या मैं ये वैल्यू ऐड कर सकता था. आई कुड हैव डन दिस, आई कुड हैव डन दैट. So when you shortchange yourself, you're just letting yourself down, and it's good to know when you let yourself down, because that is what will inspire you to be better the next day. So anyway, so I went into the show, and honestly, I don't know how, maybe it was the experience of those 3 years of all the internships that I won that show, because I knew how media works. And that show then gave me my dream job at ESPN, a channel that I dreamt of as a child, where I would see all my favorite cricketers, and suddenly I find myself out there on the cricket field. 2008 पाकिस्तान मेरा पहला क्रिकेट का टूर था, एंड उस टाइम पे सुरेश रायना, इरफान पठान, सचिन तेंदुलकर, इन सबको फील्ड पे देख के I was like ये कहाँ आ गया मैं यार, what is happening? But I was like, you know, at the same time I have to be a professional, so I put in a lot of preparation because I knew that I will be judged. I have not played cricket in my life, so I'm going to be judged purely on my content. I have not arrived. Just because I've got this job does not mean ki life set, I have made it. No, you never make it. You consistently try and be better the next day. My first interview was Sana Jayasuriya, and I very vividly remember the cameraman was a guy from South Africa. I had never met any of the crew members. When I finished the interview, he's like, young man, how long have you been doing this? And I'm like, Trevor, his name was, like, TP, this is my first ever interview that I've taken, you know, of a cricketer. He's like, I'll tell you one thing, I've been doing this for about 15 years. I've seen a lot of reporters come. Your content and your confidence is going to take you places. This came from a cameraman, right? He's a guy who operates the camera. But to me, it was like, ye banda itna experience hai, agar isko hi laga hai, so maybe I've done something right. My next interview, I'm going to be even better. And that's what I started doing. I was not getting to host shows. A lot of people might have quit because Dream Job said you will be the next TV presenter. But for 3 to 4 years, I was not getting to present a lot. I was the reporter on ground, and my own dad would say, कि यार तू टीवी में तो कभी आता नहीं है, तेरी आवाज सुनते हैं कभी-कभी 1-2 मिनट, क्या कर रहा है तू? And there were some news channels coming up, and वहाँ से much better packages were offered that, you know, come here, join the sports desk and all of that. And I was like, हम पैसे के लिए तो आए नहीं इस फील्ड में, हम तो अपनी ड्रीम जी रहे हैं. And I was like, Dad, it will come. And you know, I used to think sometimes, कि यार, will I ever get to like host a show like Harsha sir does or Alan Wilkin does? But I was just very happy being there. So in those 3-4 years, I learned how production happens, how running orders are made, how people make commentary rosters. And when I got my first show opportunity in 2012, I was ready for it. It was a natural progression from a reporter to a presenter. I was ready for it. 2013, Star Sports launched Hindi. और फिर मेरे को अपने आप से पूछना, they said you have to do Hindi now. गूगली हो गई, मतलब वैसे बुरा नहीं लगना चाहिए, बट एक होती है नॉर्मल भाषा जिसमें हम बात करते हैं, कॉन्वर्सेशनल हिंदी, बट आई वाज लाइक इसके लिए अब मैं क्या करूं? Suddenly new challenge. So I'm suddenly reading Hindi papers. I'm talking to my mom. We brush up on our Hindi, and I was like, अब जाना है इसमें तो पूरी जी जान से जाएंगे. So at every point you need to find yourself a slightly different goal, a slightly different gratification की अब मेरे को ये करना है, अब मेरे को ये करना है. But वो नहीं करना. You suddenly don't just say कि मेरे को वहां पहुंचना है. Go step by step, and this is what you'll have to realize at every point. From whatever semester you're in, you have to set yourself good goals. 6 months, I want to do this. I want to learn this. Learning might not lead to any benefits right now, but you would realize many years later कि यार ये उस time किया था, ये काम आ गया, और ये हमेशा काम आता है. And in my entire 13-year journey, this is what I've realized. What I learned in those 3 years of unpaid internships, first 4 years of not being on TV, is what allows me to do my job a little better than maybe someone who just joined into this field. So getting today to call people like VVS Lakshman, Harbhajan Singh, Shoaib Akhtar in Pakistan, or Hardik Pandya, and all, calling these people as friends has come after a very long time. And I know it for a fact that I will always be the outsider. I have not played cricket. These people will only value my opinion if I can back it with serious preparation, with honesty towards my job. And every day I have to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward. Anyone can just say, boss, तुमने तो नहीं क्रिकेट खेला, तुम कौन होते हुए बोलने वाले? ये किसी भी दिन किसी भी स्टेटमेंट से आ सकता है, but I have to make sure that I have solid backing. I know my limits. I know what not to cross. I know who I am. Like I said at the start, I'm not the story. I'm the storyteller. And if you can present the story in a good way, you've done well. I will always, at the start, Shruti gave an introduction, right? I was the guy who would do introductions for people who were coming to talk in college. I'd attended a cultural program in America, I remember. And I was one of the 8 Indian students who had gone. And Buzz Aldrin, the guy who was with Neil Armstrong, was one of the first speakers who I ever introduced in my life. I took a lot of pride in that how can I make this introduction better? How can I make him feel special that, I know who you are, I've done my research, and I have this 30-second shot at impressing you, but I can. So as a storyteller, I will never be able to score 100 like a Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. I'll not have those cover drives, but anyone who's listening in, can I just make his or her experience more pleasant? That's my job, and I'm very happy doing it. No one is going to come interview me, Batao Jatin Sabru, no. There are perks of being famous, but I still get overwhelmed when people come up to me for a photo or an autograph. My wife always says, like, Jatin, you're so embarrassing, man. Why do you get so embarrassed? Because I don't understand. Why would anyone want a photo with me? Why would anyone want my autograph? Why? I'm just a fan, a slightly more educated fan who's trying to be the voice of fans, presenting the game to them. अगर मैं टीवी देख रहा होता, मैं अपने साथ कभी फोटो लेने नहीं जाता. Let me just say it like that. Because being famous or being a celebrity, I never wanted to do it for that. I still don't want to do it. I still feel embarrassed when all these things come up because I am a kid who was clueless, aimless, and worthless in life at one point, and I found my calling, and I enjoy it every day. Every day. I think someone sent a question, sir, what's your annual package? Like I said, 6,331 रुपए में भी ऐसे लाइफ जीती जैसे हम मुकेश अंबानी और आज भी वैसे ही जीते. Because money is secondary. This field is a fascinating arena where you'll be lucky. Don't just think you're lucky to be on TV. You're lucky to be a known face. So just find what makes you realize that I'm lucky to do what I want. And that's it. That is all. I've learned from people like Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid did his first show. He's a legend. मैंने आज तक Sachin Tendulkar के सामने, I wasn't nervous. I've never been nervous because I'm like, this is my job. I'm good at it. I will do a good job. But when Rahul Dravid comes, मेरी एकदम अंदर से हवा निकल जाती because he's actually a perfectionist, right? And I'm like, boss. He did his first show and I was so glad. His debut on TV, I was the presenter. हमने show खत्म किया. And I'm just going to share things that I've learned from these great people, which I imbibe in my life. हमने show खत्म किया और उसके आधे पौने घंटे के बाद Rahul Bhai, as I call him, it's amazing, right? I have his number. I can send him a message. That's cool. This is what I want. Not annual package. I can message Rahul Bhai. That's cool, right? तो मेरे पास आए और उन्होंने बोला कि यार Jatin, can you come with me to the PCR? Can we see the show again? And I'm like, क्या हो गया? कुछ गलती हो गई क्या? He's like, no, I just want to see the show again. Come no. Okay, we went to the PCR. हमने editor को बोला कि show फिर से लगाओ. हमने show rewind करके start से देखा. उन्होंने एक headphone डाले, मैंने एक headphone डाले. And he's like, just tell me, where am I going wrong? I'm like, you're Rahul Dravid, you can't go wrong. Who am I to tell you? मैं तो खुद नौ सीखा हूँ सर, मैं आपको क्या बोल सकता हूँ? He's like, नहीं यार, my wife called me and she said, when Jatin talks, the volume is great. When you speak, मुझे लगता है I have to raise the volume because you're so nervous and all of that. मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. And I'm like, this is Rahul Dravid, who does not need to do this. He's the expert. He can be himself. But because he now wants to do television, he wants to be the best at it. He wants a newcomer from outside the field to tell him that, see, I'm a great cricketer, but I don't know television. You know television. So it doesn't matter whether you're Jatin Sabru or you're Sachin Tendulkar. Tell me what I'm doing wrong because I want to get better at it. What does this tell you? Leave your ego at home. Leave your egos at home. Anyone can teach you things. कल को कोई intern आके मेरे को कोई suggestion निकालना है, that's cool. You're right. Sachin Tendulkar once admitted that his batting became better when a room service guy in Chennai told him, "Sir, I think आपका drive ठीक नहीं आ रहा because आपका elbow guard बहुत बड़ा है." The best of coaches couldn't tell him that, and Sachin realized 2 days later in the nets कि यार point तो है बंदे का. When we shut ourselves, we think we have arrived. That is when you start doing wrong things. We are always going to be in this field to learn, and learning can come from anyone, from everyone. Never shut your window. So be good. I hope a lot of you who are here today become super successful. कि मैं आपका interview कर रहा हूँ. I hope so. I tell these kids, but be good people. Be good people to everyone. Tantrums जब बन जाते हैं ना स्टार, उनको बड़ा पसंद आता है. ये क्या हो रहा है, मेरा ये लेके आओ, मेरे मैं तो अभी भी वैनिटी वैन में जाता हूँ. So I'm just like, क्या जरूरत है, बाहर बैठ जाएंगे ना क्रू के साथ, चाय बनाओ दादा, स्पॉट दादा, चाय बनाओ, बाहर बैठते हैं. Don't think if you ever make it big in life, if you become a celebrity, as they say. It's actually what I hate. Some people call you talent. Ye talent hai. People who are on air are called talent. I hate that word. You are part of the team. Your job is in front of the camera, but there are more important people behind the camera. And you know what? You might realize in 2 years, you might not be great in front of the camera, but you'd be a brilliant producer. You'd be a brilliant director. You'd be great at camera. Everyone does it together for this product to come good. If my camera people don't do a good job, my producers don't do a good job, I will not come across great on TV. It's a team. So everyone is as important. As luck would have it, we are just known. And there are a lot of heroes, Piche, who are not known, but they're more important than probably I am. So I'm just going to tell you, my wife has said, you have to give some takeaways to people. And I'm like, मैं तो बच्चों के साथ बात करने जा रहा हूँ, because मेरे को कोई webinar पे slides वगैरह लाके दिखाएगा, मैं तो बोलूँगा कि चलो सर attendance हम घर जाएं. But I was like, okay. So I'm not going to tell you do's. I'm just going to finish this session by saying don'ts. Things that I don't want anyone. And I've touched upon a few of them. I'll just mention some of the others. Don't be desperate. Don't be desperate for good things to come. आराम से आएंगी, time लगेगा. ये patience वाला game. ये test match है, ये T20 नहीं. So don't be desperate, and don't measure your success with whether you're earning too much or whether you're on TV. You'll know when you're doing well in life. Don't do it for money. Do it for the right reason. If you're going to become a journalist today, forget sports. If you're going to get into politics, you're going to get into crime, you're going to get into entertainment, do it with the right conscience. You have a responsibility towards people who are watching you. Your opinion makers. You will give birth to opinion, and do it the right way. That's important. Don't think you know it all. Even today, maybe a lot of you might be able to teach me things. Never shut that door. Sorry. Silent pe rakhna chahiye phone. See, someone would tell me otherwise. Don't get arrogant. Never. Don't get arrogant, and don't disrespect your seniors. There are people who have done it better than you. Don't be jealous of your contemporaries, people in your class. Don't think you're the best. जो पहले करके गए उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा किया, जो आपके साथ में वो बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं. And don't discourage the youngsters and newcomers. दुनिया में हर काम में सबके लिए जगह है. अगर कोई चीज आप अच्छी करते हो तो सिर्फ एक बंदा अच्छी क्यों करेगा यार? So don't look at competition की नहीं, ये नहीं. बहुत जगह है. If you're honest to your job, you'll find your place. You'll find your identity. You don't have to copy anyone, but you'll be remembered for how many people you encouraged to be where you are and do good things than just doing your craft. So, बहुत bore कर दिया मैंने. I'm really sorry for that. These are just some of the things that I've learned over 13 years. Kiran ma'am and a lot of other people who've taught me, my parents, my friends, my family, they're my reality check. From the outside, आपको लगेगा कि बहुत glamorous life है, बहुत मुश्किल होती है. You're away from your family for a very long time. But whenever I feel dejected कि यार इतना काम है, इतना time हो गया, घर गए, 2 घंटे सो रहे हैं, every day there's a show, my wife just tells me one thing. She says कि, do you know the number of people who will give an arm and a leg to do what you do? And I'm like, probably everyone. She's like, then shut up and go to work. Simple. Don't trip. Life is great. Just give it your best shot. And get your attendance for this webinar. Kiran ma'am, over to you.
Yes, I was able to relate so many things when you were talking about college experience. Small channel we started because initially department was new. So you got internship in S4 channel. I remember that channel also closed down. Then the ESPN thing came into picture. Shamitra Bose sir, Surajit Mehla officer. Yes, all of them, yes, they have contributed in our student success. Yes, you're 100% right. Hard work you have to do. You don't have dreams, you don't know where you are going, but yes, one thing is very clear: learning is very, very important. That I keep on telling my students also. I was recalling the incident after this lockdown, after this first lockdown, when we started offline campus. Two students came to me, first year students. Ma'am, when can we start our internships? And then when you start talking about internships, then they ask, ma'am, how much money will we get during this internship? And then I keep on telling them, someone is teaching you, someone is training you, someone is giving you experience. So you should respect that. Don't run after money. Money will definitely, surely fall in your lap. So today, if you are talking about those 6,331 rupees, today there is no limit. You can earn as much you want to. That's not a problem. So money will come to you. That's important message you need to understand. But yes, efforts, sincere efforts and learning. It should go on till end. That's what we are also doing. We are also learning so many things from our students. So Tarun, I think Tarun has some questions
Yeah.
with him. Some of the students, they have raised some questions in Q&A. So over to you, Tarun.
Jatin, first of all, thank you so much for that inspiring, talk that you gave. I think typically first tell me that if you're interviewing a person who's talking of such good content, giving you so much good content, and you just get lost in the oratory skill of the speaker, how do you then ask follow-up questions? That's my first question, because I could not form a lot of follow-up questions. As we were discussing in the pre-interview, that I'll be taking follow-up questions from you from the content. So how do you do that? On a lighter note, on a different note, people have told us that they are big fans of yours. So we've gotten a lot of comments where people are appreciating, and they're coming only because you are here and after seeing your post on social media. And people want to ask, how do you maintain a work-life balance and also your mental health, because you're working throughout, right? People, they see that you're traveling so much and you're on screen almost every day. How do you maintain your work-life balance and your mental health?
Yeah, I'm still not very good at it, Tarun. I'll be very honest. I mean, firstly, you're doing a very good job, man. All of you, you, Shruti, Ritika, all the kids, just putting this all together. So much excitement. I miss karta hai actually. I'd love to go back to college and now, like just do some cool things again. I miss theater and everything. So yeah, I get very nostalgic when I speak to college kids and all. That's where I found myself. My work-life balance. See, the thing is, and now with this pandemic, there was a time where obviously I had to go to work every day, and we were on tours a lot at the start. Now I don't go to work on an everyday basis. So when there is a tournament, it could be 2 months, like when the IPL is on, and now it's happening all out of quarantine bubbles and all of that. It takes a toll. I'll be very honest. Mentally you feel you're away from your family, and I'm not very good at it. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter now, and it's made life very tough. Uske pehle hota tha, I'm seeing the world, you're getting to see the world, you enjoyed your tours, but now it's been 10 years. So it's hard. Now you want to be at home most of the times. But, so 2.5, 3 months of rigorous work, you get into it day and night, you try and keep yourself fresh. I make sure I try and keep about half an hour, 45 minutes to do some yoga, do some fitness. I enjoy having food, have non-work conversations. And then I have like a month or two to spend with my family before the next tournament comes. But like I said, I don't look at it as work. It's something that I really enjoy. So while I miss being with family, but when it happens, jab hum TV pe jate hain, when I open the show and last time when we were doing the show, the second wave of the pandemic was at its peak. So you just got a feeling that you're helping people. Sham ko 6 baje itni negativity ke beech mein, you almost have a responsibility of putting a smile on maybe a couple of faces who want to get distracted. So you look at yourself as a representative and you just remind yourself how lucky you are. So even there are times after 15-20 days of non-stop work, because nahi milti chutti yaar, people will be like, "Arey sir, kya hai, roz cricket ki baat hi to karni, you must be enjoying it," but it takes a toll in you. You know, it is stressful. If the show starts at 6 o'clock, we're in the studio at 3 o'clock. We sit with the producers, we prep. Uske pehle I spend about an hour or two prepping my own way for commentary and everything. You do your analysis. So while it might just be a 4 or 5 hour coverage, it's a 10-hour day, 12-hour day. But I just love it so much that whenever I feel that I'm exhausted, I just remind myself what a great opportunity I have. And when I'm away, when I'm spending time with my family, I try and bring about that balance. That is completely then family time. Travel a lot. So make most of the off time that I have. But mental health is something which is now coming up. I urge everyone to not let it affect you. Don't think there's anything wrong if you're feeling a certain way, if you're feeling let down, if you're feeling a little upset, depressed, talk to people, bring it up. It's a very important thing. We all can and do suffer from it. So just talk, find your friends, talk, open it out, let it out, seek help, and just stay positive.
Also, I think I have to mention that mostly what you talked about comes from an attitude from within, right? Like you have this attitude of learning. So how do we as teachers or students sort of inculcate that attitude either in ourselves or in our students? Because I don't think developing a personality is a different thing, but how do you build that attitude that I have to learn and grow and constantly work hard? Because sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, Tarun. They'll probably, like I said, if you're doing things for the right reason, right? एक बड़ा systematic procedure है हमारे societies में, हमारी day-to-day life में, which I call imagined order. Right? Everything is an imagined order. कि school जाना है, उसके बाद college जाना है. So there, everything is like cut out, and everything looks like कि अच्छा ये तो करना है. Suddenly, when you break that, and the only opportunity you really get to break that is once you're out of school, once you get into college. If you turn it into a playground, it's a playground of experiences. It's a playground of different thoughts. Instead of saying कि ये semester है, ये course है, ये marks लाने, just take all of that out of the equation and just say, hey, say like-minded people. शाम को कुछ लोग साथ में इकट्ठा होते हैं कुछ खेलने के लिए. No one is coming there to win a game or lose a game or to take a prize or anything. People come there for the enjoyment of playing.
Right.
So if learning institutions can become, hey, are you doing the right course? People might find, 6 months बाद realize करें, this is not for me. Good, leave it. Do something else. You don't have to be a graduate at 21. You don't have to be a graduate at 22. You don't have to be a graduate. Do 5 courses if you want, 2 saal ke. You're learning. So take the entire order away and just say, ki, boss, I want to learn. I'm experimenting. I want to figure out what I like in life, and find your like-minded play group, and you'll realize that everything else follows. And this is very important, I think, for teachers as well. Unfortunately, everything is regimented, ki ye semester ka course hai, ye wo hai. We were very lucky. We had the freedom with Kiran ma'am. We used to have a faculty member called Pooja Rana and a lot of other people. They were okay for us to, just experiment. Ki ye karna hai, but then do your thing. So as long as it becomes like-minded people getting together, heading in the right direction, suddenly the attitude will change. But it will also come if you're at the right place, if that's your calling. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe you find it in a year, ki nahi yaar, this is not, I'm not enjoying it. Be honest, give it your best shot, and you think, okay, I want to try something else. Go for it. Let's just break all these preconceived notions ki aise life chalti hai, and suddenly you realize school to karna hi hai yaar, ab kya kar sakte hain. I don't want to discourage faculty in schools and universities and all of that. But I just think they need to become open playgrounds for minds to come and figure out, dekhte hain kya karna hai. Let's just enjoy it. So you enjoy it, attitude will follow.
Right. Also, I think you have already answered it, but still people are asking that, even if they are from outside the industry, something that we, kind of hear very often. And if you are not outside in the industry, that is that you're not from the broadcasting world or from Bombay or from the cricketing world, how do you still get into the industry and make a mark?
I was not from broadcasting. I was not from Bombay. I was not from cricket. So, हमने तीनों की है. You have to figure out, एक broadcast है. ब्रॉडकास्ट बहुत बड़ा स्पेक्ट्रम है. हमारा, let me tell people, जब हम एक क्रिकेट मैच कवर करते हैं, से मैच वानखेड़े स्टेडियम पे हो रहा है, मैच आज है, अगर आज मैच है तो 3 दिन पहले about 150 to 200 people crew gets to the ground to prep it for the coverage. So in broadcast, there is a lot to do, right? There is camera, engineers are needed. There's great amount of engineering and technology. There is production. There is coordination, logistics, sound, editing. So there are about 10 to 15 different fields within broadcast that works on a sports broadcast. So you will figure out, you don't just have to be on front of the camera, like I had said before, to do it. You'll have to start small. No one from a very big channel or a big organization will give you a break. Which is why I said, don't just dream big, anything small. I work for a news channel which is not even known. जो आज शायद पता नहीं उस address पे है भी नहीं कि नहीं है. But वहाँ सीखने को मिला. So you will have to learn small. Get an internship at your regional channel. I mean, work for a YouTuber. Write content, write scripts, figure out how running orders are made. These years that you're spending in college, in सालों में, in years में work experience लो to make it into a broadcast industry. Maybe you'll enjoy news, right? Maybe you'll enjoy publication. Maybe you have the opportunity of vlogging. People can be so confident now. अपने camera पे लोग videos बना के डालते हैं. I feel so good when I see people doing their own analysis. You're just learning, you're getting confidence. So to get into broadcast industry, start small. Any opportunity you can find to enter any channel, any broadcast network, get in there, learn all different things that there are to do. Bombay has nothing to do with the industry. It is all across the country. It is all across the world. And today we live in the smallest possible world. You literally need a camera phone and you can be reporting from wherever. So Bombay has nothing to do with it, but you will have to start small and there is nothing small. Jo mil raha hai, jahan mil raha hai, घुस जाओ, experience लो, and go step by step. You're not going to get star sports right after college. You will not. No one will. I did not. And you will not too. So nothing is small. Get somewhere, learn, experience, and keep following that passion if you think you've got it right.
Okay, so on lighter notes, we have 2 questions. That what is your biggest fanboy or fangirl moment that you will not forget, and are you going to be writing your autobiography or a memoir or a blog or like are you going to be doing that?
Autobiography, मेरे को अभी selfie देने में शर्म आती है भाई. Autobiography का तो सोचता नहीं है. No, like I said, I have very little interest to be the story. I'm very happy being the storyteller. I love it when I can inspire anyone, not even inspire, just guide people. That's what I can do. I can guide people because I was never above average. I was never special. I was not a prodigy. I was an average kid who found his calling and gave it his all. I'm not extraordinary. There's nothing extraordinary about it. But every single time I have anything to do, I give it my best. That's all I do. So everyone out there, मैं इतना ही कर सकता हूँ. मेरी autobiography तो भूल जाओ. Pre-order अगर लोग कर रहे हैं तो मैं सोच सकता हूँ. I'll sell it for 6,331 rupees. But no, so that is not happening. But what was the other question? Autobiography के अलावा?
Fanboy or fangirl कोई ऐसा
Fanboy.
moment?
Yeah, fanboy moment when Sachin Tendulkar played his last test match, right? The 200th test match. I was a reporter and I was standing outside the dressing room at Wankhede. So there was obviously that very emotional speech and everything. All of us were crying. He's like, Bhagwan aadmi hai yaar. And to be here right now, you see how he worshipped what he did. In fact, since you're talking about him, I usually give this as an example. Sachin Tendulkar played 200 test matches. In total, he played about 800 plus international games. He only got 100 hundreds. You want to look at the success? You look at success as hundreds. He only got 100 hundreds in his entire international career. So you're going to have more bad days than good. But that man worshipped what he did. So he went to the pitch, matha tek ke aaye, और मैं ड्रेसिंग रूम के बाहर खड़ा था, सारे उनके टीममेट्स वेट कर रहे थे और मैंने एक टाई डाली थी और मैं सोच के गया था कि मैं ये टाई ऑटोग्राफ कराऊंगा सचिन तेंदुलकर से, बिकॉज मोमेंट ऐसा है. And he was walking up the stairs, and I had my mic in my hand, and suddenly the professional in me froze. I was like, yeah, this moment I can't be selfish, I can't ask for this. He just walked up, we made eye contact. मैं tie ऐसे पकड़ के बैठा था with the marker and all that. That's his sir, please. And बहुत लोगों ने बड़े autographs कराए थे. But in that moment, I just felt that this man right now just deserves all the respect. He walked up, we made eye contact, and I was just, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना जैसे मंदिर में जाके like, sir, thank you. That honest thing. And he also just nodded like, and walked right past me into the dressing room. And that is one memory that I'm never ever going to forget. It was so special because the occasion was so special, and to be able to do it, वो पूरे सचिन के जो इतने साल हमने बिताए थे ना, that just came out. And I'd worked with him before, I'd interviewed him before, but that moment I was an absolute fanboy, and unbelievable.
Right. I think I missed this. This should have been the last question. Sorry, but now I missed one question, that when you're working on a grassroots level and when you're just starting, how do you deal with negative comments and articles? I think a student wants to ask that if they are publishing their work and they're getting negative comments, how do they deal with that?
The theory of relativity, right? कुछ positive है इसलिए कुछ negative है, कुछ negative है इसलिए कुछ positive है. You have to you take constructive criticism. Be very honest. I mean, कोई अगर आपको सिर्फ नीचा दिखाने के लिए negative comment दे रहा है, कोई personal बना रहा है, ignore it. But अगर किसी का actually contradictory viewpoint है, figure out where that person is coming from and see, be open. Like I said, there's no rigid philosophy कि ये सही है. कोई मोटा है क्योंकि कोई पतला है, ठंड है क्योंकि गर्मी है, मीठा है क्योंकि कड़वा है. Everything has a relative opponent, right? So be open to ideas. So negativity, if it's personal, completely ignore it. And it affects us. A lot of people, किसी का मन उठाता है Instagram पे कोई भी गाली लिख सकता है, and बड़े लोग देते हैं. शो के एंड में कोई बोल सकता है तू कौन है, तेरे को क्या पता है. But you also know, that's okay. There are keyboard warriors in the world. The world's become a smaller place. कोई कहीं भी बैठ के आपको personal attack कर सकता है, but that's okay. But don't just say because कोई बंदा personal attack कर रहा है तो मैं किसी का criticism भी नहीं लूंगा. So be open to constructive criticism. It'll make you better. It'll make you better as a person, as a professional, or whatever. But negativity, if it's personal and you know that this is unjust, it's uncalled for, तो फिर एक कान से सुनो, दूसरे से निकालो, आगे बढ़ो.
Right. So other comments are like, tell us your favorite moments with MS sir or other commentators. So if you want to like just quickly share, because I'm sure you've had like so many good moments with different.
Yeah, no, I say because obviously there are a lot of MS Dhoni fans. Who's not an MS Dhoni fan? Again, my learning from MS Dhoni is, you don't even want to calculate his worth. He's won everything there is to win on the cricket field. जब रोहित शर्मा ने double 100 बनाया था ना अपना बैंगलोर में, I'll tell you a story after that. The team had organized a little get together after that knock, and I was there, and MS was inside. सब लोग change करके आए थे, नहा धो के आए थे, and MS was still in his practice jersey. He was still wearing that jersey, sweaty jersey, and all of that. And he was getting out when I was getting in. I was like, MS, yeah, you should have changed at least and all of that. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, इसी से तो सब कुछ है, इसको क्या change करना? He's already the captain. He's already got a World Cup. He's got everything, but he respects what has given him this life. He is still the rooted guy. Like MS Dhoni को आप कभी देखोगे, वो ग्राउंड पे होंगे तो एक ग्राउंड्समैन से भी वो वैसे बात करते हैं जैसे वो किसी टॉप कंपनी के सीईओ से करेंगे. He'll make everybody feel important about what they do. He is one of the most humble human beings I've come across. Very intriguing, very sharp mind, very witty, all of that. But he's a very, very good human being. And that is what you learn from some of these people. Success hasn't changed him. He still lives in Ranchi. He hasn't moved to one of these big cities and all of that. He knows uske roots kya hai, and he sticks to it. Simplicity. He enjoyed playing cricket. Cricket's given him everything. there's a life outside cricket, and जो कोई MS धोनी नहीं बना उसकी भी importance है life में, and he gives everyone that importance.
Right. So I think just one last question. I'm so sorry. I thought this question will come up again. That what do people do when they do not know their goals? I mean, they don't know what to do. Like you said, it won't come. The realization will not strike one morning, right? But how do you move towards realization? Is there a process of moving towards the realization?
Honesty, I think honesty. Like I said, it's a very hard thing to ask yourself, what am I really good at, right? What do I want to do? लेकिन उसका जवाब कोई और नहीं दे पाएगा. अगर कोई और आपको बता रहा है कि यार आप ना ये चीज अच्छी करते हो, तो या तो आप खुद के साथ ऑनेस्ट नहीं हो, या आपको कोई अंदाजा नहीं है अपनी कैपेबिलिटीज का. People can guide you that, you know, what I think you're good. Like I remember in class 10, when I was in school, मेरी एक टीचर हुआ करती थी, उन्होंने, एंड छोटी छोटी चीजें कभी कभी रह जाती है ना आपके पास. उन्होंने एक बार मेरी मॉम को बोला था क्लास 10 में एक पेरेंट टीचर मीटिंग में, that you know what, Mrs. Sapru, Jatin writes very well. So, you know, at some point, just see in case he'd like to get into something like an English honors and all of that, because I really enjoy his creative writing. So I used to think, मैं तो ऐसे ही लिख रहा हूँ, but I was like, okay, maybe someone who's a faculty. It stayed with me. It stayed with me that someone who's a master at her craft thought that I do this well. Do I do it well? So guidance is good, but then you have to be very honest. कि कोई सही बोल रहा है, गलत बोल रहा है, but you have to be very honest, यार. There's no easy answer to that. But I'll just say कि don't be afraid to try out things. It might not be easy. You might not have the opportunity. घर में दिक्कत हो सकती है. You might have 10,000 responsibilities on your head. एक risk assessment जैसे stock market में होता है ना, life हमारी stock market है. एक stop loss होना चाहिए कि मैं अपने शेयर में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ और अपने शेयर में खुद विश्वास बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन इस टाइम पे मैं स्टॉप लॉस कर दूँ. सो आई डू दिस, बट दिस इज माय अल्टीमेट. ये नहीं हुआ तो ये मेरा बैकअप है, देन आई मूव ऑन. नॉट एवरीबॉडी गेट्स टू maybe, you know, choose what they want in life. Sometimes life chooses it for you, but give yourself some time. You're all young, you're all, I'm guessing, in your early 20s. Just don't fall for that कि rat race है, 23 पे खत्म करना है, 24 पे ये करना है, 26 पे शादी करनी है. करो यार, experiment करो. It's a great time to be alive. The world is such a small place, so try out a few things. Ask yourself the question, what am I really good at? And just get into it. You know, रास्ते अपने आप खुल जाएंगे, but just be very honest to yourself and you'll find your goals.
I think that's it from my side, and I think also from comments. I hope that I've summarized everything that people wanted to ask. Thank you so much, Jatin. I think personally it was on humility and hard work, and also, like, you know, just perseverance. So I think that's what I will take away from this talk. I'll give it over to Kiran ma'am to just say a couple of words and conclude the session. Thank you, Jatin.
My pleasure, Tarun. Thank you.
Yes, I think there are students, they are asking questions about like they want to be sports presenter, or how to manage these, you know, these people, those who are known as talent managers now. So I think when we started our journey, even when I post-graduated, there was no such designation. So talent manager is possible only if you are on a certain position, only then you got those managers, you get these people. Otherwise, I think as far as Jatin is concerned, no talent manager was there, I think, when he started.
अभी भी नहीं है मैम, ना टैलेंट है ना मैनेजर है.
No, of course, talent is there. But yes, this is what people need to understand. It's 90% hard work, it's 10% talent. So that you have to put. That's very important to understand. And secondly, Jatin already told those students, those who are asking about they want to pursue their career in sports journalism or they want to be sports presenter. Initially, you can't plan these things. And there are no, you know, channels queued in the lines to give you jobs, whether howsoever talented you may be, but you require experience with good organization. Good doesn't mean a small or big. Good means where you can learn something. So that's more important to understand. And secondly, another thing, but when Jatin started about this thing that figured out somehow that just I know many things which others don't know. When he started his degree in BAGMC, that all need to understand. You should have that kind of knowledge level, that kind of information level, which is important for script writing, for writing, for TV, for PTC, everything you require that knowledge level, and that should be, on the basis of facts. Only then you can stay on the screen. This is not something that you can imagine something out of imagination. You are saying something. Everything can't be result of imagination, particularly in case of TV channels and in sports journalism. Imagination is there to just to present your facts. It's not sheer imagination that you can do something. So, Mehak, if you have any more questions, you can ask. Jatin, you have some time. Can you take some more questions? Mehak, if you have some
actually, actually, students want to know that if they can do internship in Star Sports India, they're asking for the internship opportunities over there. Actually, there are a lot of questions, similar questions that coming up.
It's in Bombay. It's in Bombay. Well, it's very tough to straight away get an internship. Like I said, it's like saying, I don't want to make comparisons, but it's saying ki if you're just begun to play domestic cricket, you'll not get an internship with the Indian team, right? You'll have to get a little bit more experience. And the problem is you'll struggle. Agar Sida, if right now the demand and expectations in big organizations is very hard, right? If you suddenly get into Star Sports, they'll expect you to know things and be good at them. Which is why I believe कि जब सीखना है, you need a conducive environment where there is pressure, but there is not enough pressure कि ये तो सब आना चाहिए. So Star Sports में, everything moves at such a pace कि वहाँ पे इतना सिखाने का time नहीं है लोगों के पास, because it's a very demanding job. But something which is a little less accountable is where you'll prepare for something like Star Sports. So you will not get easy opportunities. Maybe in marketing, maybe in other fields and all, there might be options. But I'll tell you very honestly, if you'll get an opportunity, किसी के पास सिखाने का time नहीं होता वहाँ. Everything is high pressure. IPL हो, World Cup हो, किसी के पास time नहीं है because we're all so into it. So my advice would be to start somewhere where it's not manic. You're not expected to be A++. जहाँ B+ से आप start कर सकते हो, सीख सकते हो. So it's not easy. Star Sports, you probably not have as many opportunities, and you want to prepare to even get a chance to learn there, which will happen at other places.
All right. Okay. So we have some questions that are coming up for Kiran ma'am as well. Kiran ma'am, are you here?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, ma'am. So we have one question from a student whose name, of course, is not mentioned, and they want to know that what about the poor section of society who is, who have responsibilities over them, and they are not able to join such huge university like Mangalam University and still have dreams in their eyes. So, please, if you could address this.
Frankly speaking, for great work, you don't require universities or college which have good name. Ultimately, it's the person who is guiding you. He may be your school teacher, maybe your parents, and your work, your orientation towards learning. That's the most important thing. It's not important that if you are a student of Mangalam University or any other institution, there are students, they are getting good names, they are successful in their lives, those who have started in government schools, where people of this NCR, they don't want to send their children, but yes, they are successful because of their commitments.
Ma'am, let me just tell the world, मेरे को पता नहीं मेरी degree क्या है. मैं एक बार copy मंगा चुका हूँ, but I don't know where it is right now.
Yes, I remember.
अगर आपके पास एक copy है तो भेज देना मेरे को WhatsApp.
Yes, these degrees we require in teaching. And secondly, when students were asking when we want to join Star Sports or I want to be presenter, I just want to tell you, if I compare it to teaching, straight away you can't be professor. You have to be, climb that ladder. You have to earn that experience. You have to do those degrees. You have to learn, only then you can achieve positions. So straight away you can't achieve anything. Even, there are so many there is so much discussion going on in the film industry about nepotism and all these things. What I'm going to tell you, in industry, in film industry also, you get a chance because of your father or someone who knows you or someone who is very close to you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your hard work, your talent, your commitment, and your attitude gives you success. So I hope there are no more questions were related to each other.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll probably, in the coming times, I'll share some
Yeah,
stuff.
ma'am, actually, we have only similar questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share some stuff which you can in turn distribute it with the kids, like what modern day running orders are like, how are our rosters made, so I'll probably just try and send out some assignments that they can do, get a little more. This is what I can do. I can just try and give you a sneak peek into how the industry works, and probably take that sort of a class at some point. But I'll share some stuff with Kiran ma'am, which you'll send it across to you guys, and you'll know what the current running orders look like and how things work. So you'll get a little more.
Jatin,
All right,
we'll
Jatin,
have a
sir.
session with you. Yes, we'll have a session
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you exclusively for mass communication students.
Yeah.
That we'll have. Yes.
I think Kiran ma'am, more of the questions are very similar now. So I think that we could just wind up the session now. Yeah. So I would like to thank Jatin sir for being here, and of course Kiran ma'am for making this possible. And it has been a very, very amazing and very enthusiastic session. And I must say that Jatin sir started with such a positive note, such positive energy that is utmost required at this point of time, wherein all of us are feeling so negative and somehow depressed and demotivated. And he's such a positive face. So thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you guys. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves, taking this COVID threat very seriously. I've seen it in my house. It is not something to be taken lightly. So don't take it lightly. Take care of everyone, your parents and everyone at home, and just buy your time. Chill karo, Netflix dekho, mere shows dekho. Leke aayenge abhi kuch 18 se. And but just be safe. Stay happy. Kiran ma'am, thank you very much. Anything for you, anytime. Thank you so much for teaching us all the good things. And kabhi grace marks, but anything for
Thank you, Jatin. Thanks for coming, and thanks all the faculty members and students, those who attended the session, and they have raised very good questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
All
you,
the best,
everyone.
guys. Hopefully see you on the field someday.